10 years. Without much, we have short of time right now. We have only 1 hour duration. I'll give it to Mr. Bhavik to go over the presentation.
Salam, and good morning. Thanks for joining, and I'm glad, really thankful for having me the opportunity to present today. As Patel mentioned, last 9 months I've made a career switch from data management to innovation and robotics key focus. I had the pleasure of working for Bhavik on my first robotics engagement, which was on Wall Street at Deutsche Bank. It was a very successful engagement. And on the premise of what I saw, I was very skeptical about robotics. As you can be with most emerging technologies, making a shift in career change can be a tough market, especially when competitive advantages are growing. So I made this move to robotics. Just what robotics is not. It's not a physical machine sitting at a desktop, right? So it's the misconceptions of when you talk about robotics, everyone starts thinking about manufacturing and so forth. It's more about something that would sit at a desktop. So you have your automation from the back end side, EPM standpoint, scripts, triggers, and the traditional.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So I'll start over. But anyway, let's just go over the agenda for the hour, and then we'll press forward. So what we want to cover in this hour is really what is robotics, the business drivers behind robotics. So you can understand it from a theoretical standpoint, but you want to understand the practicality of it, right? So you've got business drivers behind robotics, business benefits of robotics, and you've got the robotic software vendors that are in play today. And we're going to talk about the current industry adoption of robotics of where it's at. Okay, so that's the agenda, and then at the end we'll do a Q&A session. So what is robotics, right? So robotics in the realms of today's office is not a physical robot sitting at a desk, as mentioned earlier. It's more of a piece of software that automates activities from a manual standpoint. So think in the realm of in operations. So the real application of robotics is in the operations world, where it's really fixed processes that are conducted by operations people, really doing those sort of low-level tasks of, think of it from an onboarding standpoint, processing KYC, any sort of structured form coming in. There's real areas where you would have low-value tasks from an operations standpoint. So that's where you have your robotics applications in play. And we'll talk about these use cases as we go through this hour. Right, so robotics process automation is the application of technologies that allows people in a company to configure software or a robot to capture and interpret existing applications for processing transactions, manipulating data, triggers, responses, and communications of other digital systems. So think of the software that's actually installed in terms of implementation of robotics. Your applications will stay as is today. It's more of an installation of a third-party vendor on a desktop that would integrate with these current existing applications. So, the real big win of this is that you don't require an army of developers. You don't need 6 months, 10 months of implementation time. You can realize a return on investment within weeks. And it's really sort of understanding the applications that the end user is doing, and you're mimicking it on these platforms. And the user interfaces of these are just like Visio flowchart diagrams, so you can have control boxes, whether you're controlling to you're being connected to a mainframe, a database server, a Citrix server, or any homegrown applications within the institution. Right, so just wanted to get you sort of like thinking about what it would look like. Any companies that uses labor on a large scale or general knowledge process work where people are performing high volume, high transactional process functions will boost capabilities and save money over time with robotics RPA. Robotics process automation is also known as RPA, short-term knowledge. But this is the third bullet point here is really sort of like when you're profiling where RPA is. Not every process will be applicable for robotics, right? So you've got to really be targeted around which processes you're going to be using robotics for to get the real value add. So the third bullet point really sort of like emphasizes, you know, you're looking for high volume, high transactional processes, well, you know, we're boosting the capabilities for robotics, and they can get a real play for the implementation of robotics. You know, just as industry robots are remaking manufacturing industry by creating high-level production rates and improved quality, RPA are revolutionizing the way we think and administer business processes. So not only are you getting the sort of like the first off the bat sort of like savings on full-time jobs going, you've got real tighter controls in place. I'll give you an example of the use case I worked with Bhavik over at Deutsche Bank, where we had this one process where they are getting 2,000 loan notifications coming into a central hub in India. Now, these guys would open up emails, surface through attachments, looking for key identifiers for plugging in loan transactions into a central repository. Now, what was happening is that 2,000 a day, 10 people servicing this job, they wanted to scale from 2,000 a day to 12,000 a day. So what do you do? What is that? With a fully automated process already, or do you try and apply some kind of robotics application to it so that you can scale up and reduce headcount, also reducing the operational risk for the balance sheet misstatements through fact figuring and mistakes that are made commonly when you have high volume tasks and you can do it by the end of the day. So what we actually did is we actually applied, we went one step further than robotics. We actually started applying machine learning, where we actually trained machines, models that came up with this one product, and I'll go through this product now, to teach it. These are the different types of permutations and combinations of loan notifications that would come into the process. We were able to prove 86% accuracy rates and a plausible 50% reduction in headcount, and also showing that the business owner that we could scale up for this one use case. And as soon the immediate result that she wanted to see was accuracy, efficiency, and reduction in headcount. She was ready to sign a check to take this to a further implementation. So when I walk through this, it's also understanding the business case. So I'm going to not only give you the theoretical part of this, but also the application of actually taking this to the next stage. So the technology of RPA, I'll refer to robotics as RPA through the rest of the session. To be specifically right, it's industry agnostic, right? So I'm coming from a point of view of financial services. The good thing about robotics is that you can apply it to any industry whatsoever. So you know, you're not going to. So I just came up with one slide yesterday. So let's just talk about sort of like the evolution, right? So I'm assuming most of you are technologists, yeah? And I'm assuming a lot of you are in financial services. So I just wanted to go through like the evolution of where we are today. With Gartner actually sees our RPA. So you know you start BAU 0.0 with manual processes. You go through BAU 1.0 where you're automating business processes with scripts, schedulers, events, triggers. You know, your traditional automation is done through any type of computer program. And then, you know, as time went on, you get the evolution of business process management, you exhaust processes going offshore, you know, BPO, you do everything you can to optimize the operations of a functioning business. And now, where we're at today is 2017. Robotics has been around for about 2 years, but you know, you've got to remember it's very skeptical. Any new innovation technology, people are not very easy to adopt, but with, you know, you have some clients that will take it and run with it, some are hesitant, they would rather wait for other people to get ahead of the curve and learn from the lessons from them so they can apply it for their sort of like implementation rollout. So where we're at today is really at, where we're at today is at BAU 3.0. And I, you know, there's no real logical order, I just wanted to sort of like give that sort of timeline of where we're at. So, you know, Gartner predicts that it will be, RPA will be widespread by 2017. And I'm seeing the momentum pick up heavily right now. And then really, BAU 4.0 is more about the automation of processes through cognitive powered machine learning. The Deutsche Bank example was way ahead of the curve. but it's all specific and relevant on specific use cases. A lot of this is all use case driven, and we'll walk through how you derive those at a later stage. So again, robotics is today's disruptive technology that's been transforming the automation landscape through 2017, and E&Y has made a massive bet that this is going to be a big revenue growth for us. You have to understand, since 2007, 2008, most of the big four firms have been making their money on regulatory initiatives, and it's been their bread and butter. But now with the new president, Nolan knows what he's been doing with the reg side, it's more of a shift to more core banking initiatives. So helping with advanced analytics, blockchain, robotics, big data, the lake, getting rid of the concept of EDW. There's a whole bunch of things that are coming into play now that are really focusing on streamlining the business as they move forward, and then they can start focusing their business on spending their money on core banking, get back to business as they were before 2007. But here again, we're still going on the concept of what is robotics. I wanted to put this up because I've had a lot of questions around, what's the difference between RPA and BPM and traditional automation. So I wanted to put this chart up for a lot of people here that are technologists can actually see sort of like where the differences lie across the spectrum, and sort of like really understand where RPA fits in. But in a nutshell, summarizing this slide, RPA is nothing more, in my opinion, an extension of BPM, right? So, BPM is pretty much your whole end-to-end process. BPM projects cost millions of dollars, and you'll realize on your return on investment or your ROI is typically 12 months to 18 months, depending on how mature your enterprise is already. With robotics, you can start seeing cost savings and efficiency savings within 12 weeks. That's how fast robotics is. You don't need the hardcore, expensive developer anymore. It's really business owners can actually configure it and implement it themselves. So it's getting very challenging now for the IT community, because a lot of people now are looking at RPA as business driven and business with support from IT from an infrastructure standpoint, but more so from a front end perspective, because think of this from a target operating model. You start using robotics, you replace a department with 5 robots to take on manual tasks that were done previously. You'll still have a manual presence, but what if there's a change in a business process? Whether there's a rule change or a new application that comes in, or a new step. You're not going to expect the IT individual to be able to do that without them having sufficient business knowledge. So the way the RPA programs are written or constructed is that it's very business user friendly. So if there is a change, the business user will be able to mimic that change in an environment, and then hand it off to IT then to deploy out to production. So these are the key benefits around RPA and BPM, an IT workforce that's really going to drive the full implementation. So again, what we want to do here is keep on the theme of what robotics is. It's a virtual workforce, right? So it's not a physical person or a physical entity sitting at a desk. It's more software that's running on a desktop, or the physical application of this in a production environment would be a bunch of virtual machines in a data center, where you have someone really connected to it, and it's all resource driven by CPU and memory. Robots spin up, complete a task, robots spin down again. And you have a control tower that really, so think of it from a master slave perspective, where you have one robot really overlooking the work that's being shifted around between the robots that are configured, and will distribute that workload accordingly as the work scales up. That's just from a physical understanding from how we look at a production environment. So here, robots can connect to in-house mainframe, the cloud, the desktop automation, and enterprise automation. So the robot can really do anything that the human does today. There's nothing that can stop, there are no limitations of what a robot can do based off of today's applications that are housed in most enterprises. So, create, sustainable operations in a heightened quality and customer-centric environment. So don't look at just that one dimension of, the benefits of robotics from a reduction of headcount. It gets you that conversation with, the chief of operations, because they're basically, their performance is measured upon, cutting costs, right? But, you can cut costs, but at what risk, right? You can cut costs, but if you can increase the risk, reduce the risk by getting those specific controls in, then you've got a stronger story to tell, and the client is more willing to sign the check to take it to the next level. So, next slide. So, in summary, I just want to really summarize what robotics is for, some of my conversation could be going round in circles. So, robotics is software that automates activities that humans perform on the computers. Robotics enables organizations to automate existing high volume and complex processing handling actions as if it was a business user doing the work. So again, it's a mentality that, you've got a virtual workforce really sort of mimicking what an operations person would be doing. Robots utilize existing applications in the same way as trusted user interfaces by people. Again, with robotics, you need the tools out there today have the security, the audit infrastructure that's in play that you would have for a standard user. Because you get a lot of people, right, robotics, right? What about security? Can we really give these robots the user access they need for inputting data? So you depending on your target operating model, you have a lot of these programs or rules. It's if then else. It's just pure Boolean rules from the traditional robotics players that are out there. If there are areas where you're taking financial data and you plug it into the system, you can have a 4 eyes check put in place where you can have a person that was doing the work before a low value level task to a higher value level task. We're doing more auditing, more checkpoints, and more authorization for process to continue to the next stage. So depending on how valuable the process is that's in question, you can perform your operating model in that way. So, traditional robotic process automation automates repeatable tasks with no judgments. Cognitive robotic process automation allows certain decisions to be made with judgments, and I can walk through that example afterwards. Because the good thing about the project I worked on, I think I'm the only one at E&Y that's worked on a machine learning robot project, and I can walk through that Deutsche Bank example with further more detail as we work through. So business drivers. Here are the sort of like the attractive parts of robotics for shareholders. Demand an increase in regulatory expectations, continue increased cost management. Again, cost is, for anyone in operations, cost takeout is a very, very big thing. You can get adding when you're in a department and I've seen this before, and you go to your boss, wherever business line, or you go to the COO and you tell them I need to add 10 more people. The first thing they'll look at you and say, why do you need it? Unless you have a business case that's there. So whether it's a regulatory environment that's coming up, I think there's one client I was at that they hired an extra 10 people because there's something coming up in the next 3 months, and they're expecting volumes to rise. With robotics, you don't need to add people, you just add robots. They're already predefined with rules, so there's no training required, right? So it's all scaling up, right? So when you've got 2 robots configured to deal with a single task, that's not going to change. All it is the volume. People just add people, groups just add people to that equation. Here you just spin up more robots. So your retention, the knowledge is kept in house. All that's may need to be tweaked is a rule or 2. So you have emerging in fintech firms, and this is one of the reasons why I moved over, because I was quite bored of doing what I was doing in terms of data management. 15 years of that was enough. I wanted to try and start something new on the fintech side, and working with Arden, I selected the robotics. So emerging fintech based threats challenge institutions to ability to react quickly and support costly legacy application platforms. I was talking with Ali about, you know, when I first came here in 1999 from England, there was a big conversation around straight-through processing. People are not familiar with straight-through processing. It's really, you know, something that starts and it has no human interaction. You know, the nirvana state for any institution is to have something triggered by an event and it's processed all the way through to, you know, from Genesis to Exodus, right? So there are no breaks in between, no human interaction. The technology takes care of it all the way to the end. But if you look at it where you are today, you've got legacy systems. You know, I worked on system revitalization projects where, you know, where you had some people that had a massive budget and they want to replace their legacy systems. Most of these systems are $100 million plus. These kind of programs are $100 million plus programs. You know, mostly driven by, you know, they want real-time processing. They want to move from legacy to open source. You know, these are the cool tools that are out there. You know, they build their business case, and 9 times out of 10 they fail. They go back to where they were. You know, and so most of the operations for places I worked at, a lot of the people I've spoken to is like, my systems work. Leave me alone, right? Why should I have to go and spend money to do, you know, you're going to move from, you know, from legacy to something else without any real enriched value just to get data sped up? Find something else that you can bolt on. Well, robotics plays a big part of this now, because now you can have, instead of, you know, spending hundreds of millions of dollars on these kind of projects to try and achieve straight-through processing as well as other business values, you can use robotics to not do it from the back-end side, but from a front-end perspective, right? So how you enable straight-through processing today is with manual tasks, right? So if an exception's raised, if a process needs to go to a queue where it needs to be looked upon, where decisions need to be made, with robotics, you can actually use the front-end component at a very cheap price. Most of these robotic platforms are in the thousands of dollars just to run, versus you know, tens of millions of dollars from a complete revitalization standpoint. So there's another applicable part for, you know, getting you close to one step closer to straight-through processing, which people want. I just put this illustrative example here. You know, HR onboarding. You know, you have in-person meetings, you have manual routing, manual follow-ups. You know, overflowing cabinets, employee onboarding. These are the kind of steps that need to be reduced to this. And, you know, robotics is enabling this, especially from a digital standpoint. So robotics has a very big play within digital as well. So there's many applications, not just from a cost, that one dimension that we're talking about from a headcount reduction. It's enabling other technological factors around digital, straight-through processing, cost reduction in terms of operational risk, etc. And I can talk about some of the digital enablement as we go through, and it's actually will tie back to that one example around machine learning as well. So here again with business drivers, don't look at one dimension about robotics, although that gets you to the front door and it gets the conversation going with the right people, because eyebrows start raising, suddenly you can save money. There are, so saving human effort, as we've spoken about the first few minutes, increase in value of added talent, low attrition. So, you know, you've got operations people that have been doing the same work over and over again. You can basically train them up using robotics, right? Because again, if you're looking at the target operating model, you're never going to get rid of, so if you get rid of 50% of your employees in that one group, what you can do is that with that 50%, you're not going to put, or 50%, you're not going to put the people that you're laying off onto the street. You can retool those people, right? You can probably take about 2 or 3 of those people to then manage that operation, that process on site. Again, depending on the operating model that you have, you're not going to have an offshore vendor taking the robotics component to a native site. More so, you're going to have a business person locally monitoring the actual process itself, because you're going to need someone with that business knowledge to make those changes if a change comes, especially from a support standpoint. And then you can redivert other employees to other areas of the business going through. So, you know, there are many different configurations, because it gets very sensitive when I go in to have a conversation with a business lead. I can help reduce 50% of your workforce. Their bosses are happy about it, but others get scared because they don't know what the outcome's going to be, because this is very, very new. But we can talk through a lot of these as we go through in terms of the Q&A. So, accelerated value from other initiatives, it's a quick win. Like I said earlier, robotics is not a year-long effort, it's not a massive investment. Actually, most robotics programs will then pay for itself. So if you take a limited scope for one business process, and you can show cost savings of, say, $250,000, right, the next phase of work will pay for itself. So that's a way of portraying some of your implementations that are better than asking for a budget of $12 million. Let's start off small, $250,000, small project. We'll define your success criteria, and within the first 12 weeks, you can see the financial benefit, and that in itself will pay for the next level of work as you go through a typical program. So that's the way we're trying to position it, versus going for that typical thing of like, hey, we've got a hot technology, I need an investment of $12 million. Whereas we're going through this incrementally and actually working with the business. So don't think of this as a big bang initiative. It's more of an incremental initiative that you would deploy. And we can talk through this as we go through the other slides, because it's not only about what is robotics, how do I engage, how do I implement, what are the thought processes I need to do to really evolve this platform. So here, the business benefits of robotics. It takes the enterprise one step closer to straight-through processing, achieve fast speed to value, reduce people expense by automating frequent manual tasks, improving exception handling, moving to the best work to the best location, improve auditability, consistency, control over error-prone activities. To elevate risk, non-compliance, financial and or reputational harm to the firm. So these are the points that I've really sort of covered through this. So I want you guys to think of what robotics is really sort of think of it from multi-dimensions on how robotics can be sold to the enterprise. So you understand the business drivers. Business drives technology, right? So you can have a great technology platform. A lot of companies I've spoken to, a lot of their IT departments are ahead of the game, whereas the business is still playing catch up. So it's now sort of bringing technology back in line with robotic, with the business, and then helping the business transform their operational environment to a processed environment. So next. Here is a nice little diagram I just wanted to put together around digital enablement of legacy systems using robotics. So, we don't want to spend millions of dollars on legacy platforms from an integration standpoint, because that's where a lot of the money comes into play, as well as upgrades, personnel that come into play in any sort of digital enablement today's projects that I've seen anyway. What we can have here is have a central part where we have robotics, interface with your technology that's really evolved around the portal of the mobile device, and use robotics in the middle to then really do an integration.